Homer and Bart don't seem to care where they are when they get in a fight. These are the 8 craziest Bart and Homer fights. Number 8. The Duel Over the Cupcake, Treehouse of Horror 4. In The Devil and Homer Simpson, Homer's sweet tooth gets him into the ultimate sticky situation. When he declares he'd sell his soul for a donut, the devil, hilariously portrayed as Ned Flanders, pops up and seals the deal. But Homer, ever the loophole seeker, leaves one bite uneaten, thinking he's outsmarted the devil himself. That plan crumbles literally when a half-asleep Homer snacks on the last piece. You the devil dragging him to hell for a day of ironic punishment, being force-fed donuts endlessly. Naturally, Homer demolishes the entire supply, leaving the demons baffled.
I don't understand it. James Coco went mad in 15 minutes.
The real showdown comes in the trial for Homer's soul, with Lionel Hutz as his lawyer. Bad choice, and a jury packed with history's worst villains. It looks grim. But Marge saves the day, presenting a wedding photo where Homer pledged his soul to her.
Dear Marge, you have given me your hand in marriage. All I can give you in return is my soul, which I pledge to you forever.
The jury rules in Marge's favor, freeing Homer, but not without consequence. The devil spitefully turns Homer's head into a donut, leaving Springfield's cops licking their lips outside his house. Classic Homer. Number 7. Homer hulks out. I'm furious, yellow. You knew this was coming. After Bart's angry dad cartoon dragged Homer's temper through the mud, Homer swore he'd never lose his cool again. Yeah, right. Enter Bart, who's always got a trick up his sleeve. This time it's a trap, a pool of green paint that Homer hilariously falls into. Now here's where it gets gold. Covered head to toe in green, Homer starts channeling his inner Hulk. He's stomping around, growling in short, caveman-like sentences, and throwing punches at random objects. It's chaos. For a moment, you have to expect him to yell, "Homer smash!" But alas, this is Springfield, and the fun doesn't last long. The cops show up and quickly subdue our budget Hulk before he can cause too much damage.
Homer mad! Ah!
Thank God his pants stayed on.
Number 6. A real pickle. Bart on the road. Bart, the master of bad decisions. In this one, he convinces everyone he's off of some made-up National Grammar rodeo, when in reality he's hitting the road with Milhouse, Nelson, and Martin. Destination? Knoxville, Tennessee. Naturally, the trip falls apart and Bart ends up stranded.
We've got no car.
We've got no money.
And no one knows we're here.
We're stranded.
So what does Bart do? He calls Lisa, of course. She's the only one in the family with a functioning brain. But even she's stumped on how to help him. With no other options, Lisa spills the beans to Homer. This is where things get interesting. Homer at first seems surprisingly calm about it, but don't be fooled. He grabs a hazmat helmet, puts it on, and absolutely loses it inside. Picture Homer yelling his head off in his private little rage bubble. Number 5. Why You Little. Various episodes. The classic Homer and Bart showdown. If you've ever watched The Simpsons, you've definitely seen Homer lunge at Bart with the signature line, "Why you little?" and his hands firmly around Bart's neck. This gag has been running longer than Homer's tolerance for Bart's antics. It doesn't matter if Bart scribbled on the walls or just gave Homer a little sass. Homer goes straight from zero to chokehold like it's his default parenting strategy.
Okay, here's a shot. You're not bald. Your hair left out of embarrassment.
Why, you little...
Now let's be clear, strangling your kid isn't cool. But maybe if it's Bart. Okay, no, still not cool. What makes this gag so memorable, though, is how it perfectly captures Homer's terrible impulse control. The guy gets overwhelmed by his emotions faster than you can say dope. Unfortunately, the Simpsons kids seem to be picking up on their dad's habit of flying off the handle. Apples, trees, and all that.
I guess it's just how I was raised. Look at these grades. They're a disgrace. No TV for a week. Why, you little...
Number 4. The Pinchy Incident. Bart Carney. When Bart's antics lead the Simpsons to lose their house to a pair of sneaky carnies, Homer's frustration is as chaotic as it is hilarious. It all starts when Bart crashes a supposedly historic car at the carnival.
You wrecked Hitler's car. What did he ever do to you?
Forcing him to work off the damage as a carny. Naturally, Homer tags along, only to discover the job involves less fun and more horse manure cleanup. The duo befriends Cooter and Spud, two slick carnies running a rigged ring toss game. Things spiral when Chief Wiggum shuts the booth down, leaving Cooter and Spud homeless. Ever the gracious host, Homer invites them to stay at the Simpsons house. Big mistake. The carnies take over the home, barricading the family out and leaving them to live in the treehouse.
Cooter! What have you done to our house?
It's ours now. Tell us where the extra sheets are and get off our property.
Determined to reclaim his couch groove, Homer challenges the squatters to a rigged hula hoop game. Instead of playing fair, the family rushes into the house mid-game, locking the carnies out for good. The house back in their hands, Homer settles into his spot on the couch, once again the king of the castle, albeit with a little more chaos than he bargained for. Number 3. Karate Chaos. When Flanders failed. Bart's foray into karate lessons takes a ridiculous turn. Meanwhile, Ned Flanders decides to quit his job and open the Leftorium, a store catering to left-handed people. At a barbecue, Homer spitefully wishes for Ned's store to fail, fueled by his resentment over Flanders' success. Bart's karate lessons, however, turn out to be less about discipline and more about him skipping class to play video games. Predictably, when Lisa calls on him to defend her from bullies, Bart's skills fall flat, earning him a swift beatdown. As for Homer, his wish seems to come true. Ned's store flounders, and his family faces financial ruin.
I used to turn to the Bible and find solace, but even the good book can't help me now.
Why not?
I sold it to you for 7 cents.
Oh.
But when Homer sees Ned's possessions sold off and his house repossessed, guilt finally sets in. Taking action, Homer rallies Springfield's left-handed residents to support the Leftorium. The next day, a packed store saves Ned's business, allowing him to keep his house. Homer's petty streak turns redemptive as he toasts Ned as the richest left-handed man in town, though Bart still walks away as Springfield's least effective martial artist. Number 2. Fight over Milhouse. Bart sells his soul. Bart's prank at church spirals into chaos when he swaps his soul with Milhouse for $5, triggering Homer's involvement. What starts as a simple transaction escalates into a hilariously philosophical family dispute. Bart mocks the idea of a soul, but soon faces strange consequences. His pet avoids him, automatic doors won't open, and he can't even laugh at Itchy and Scratchy. Lisa warns him about the gravity of selling his soul, but Bart brushes it off until he experiences a haunting nightmare where everyone's soul is their companion, except his.
No soul, huh? Don't worry, I'm still behind you.
Desperate, Bart tries to buy his soul back, but Milhouse raises the price and eventually trades it to the comic book guy. Bart's frantic search hits dead ends, leaving him dejected and praying for his soul's return. In a touching twist, Lisa secretly buys it back and restores Bart's faith in its importance. Number 1. Fight Club at the Barbecue. Bart vs. Australia. Bart's curiosity about the Coriolis effect spirals into global chaos, thanks to his prank call to the Southern Hemisphere. After duping an Australian boy, Tobias, into confirming water spins differently down under, Bart racks up a massive phone bill and enrages Tobias' dad. Turns out Tobias' neighbor is a member of parliament, and soon the prank snowballs into an international incident, with Bart indicted for fraud.
Hey guys, just so you don't hear any wild rumors, I'm being indicted for fraud in Australia.
That's no reason to block the TV.
The Simpsons are sent to Australia for Bart to issue a formal apology. But things go hilariously off the rails. Bart's attempt to smuggle a bullfrog into the country ends with it wreaking havoc on Australia's ecosystem. At the embassy, Homer and Bart get into slapstick-level antics, including Homer repeatedly getting knocked out by a Marine, and Bart mooning an entire courtroom with "Don't tread on me" scrawled across his behind. When the Australians demand Bart's punishment, a literal boot to the bum, he escapes with Homer in a chaotic embassy showdown. The episode ends with the family fleeing in a helicopter, dodging beer cans hurled by furious Aussies, while a koala clings ominously to the chopper's strut, teasing another environmental disaster back in the States. Classic Simpsons-style mayhem with an international twist.